This is the Debrief at Decision Tactical.
We are here at Decision Tactical. We're here before we're opening. We're here with the one and only James Lee. Going to get into it with him and see what he's all about and how we could get to know him a little bit better. So I want to know, tell us a little bit about your background, James.
Well, Vinny, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. Most people know me as James Lee, James Sang Lee. I'm former ISKA world champion. God gave me the great privilege that I was in the world final 7 times and the only one to ever win 4 in a row on ESPN.
Super champion.
Obviously, a lot of martial art background. I had black belts in 5 different styles, Kung Fu, Karate, Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu, and Koba-Jitsu weapons. Weapons was kind of what got me into the film industry and why I know so much about firearms, knife fighting, and things like that, and obviously a lot of action films.
He's got an extensive film background, which we're fortunately going to get into. Who influenced you to get into martial arts?
You know, I was in the Lee family. My family's originally from Hong Kong, China, and in our family, my uncle is a master in Wing Chun Kung Fu. So I was influenced at a very early age and martial arts. I was about 6, 7 years old.
Nice.
And of course, like many people, I saw a Bruce Lee film, Enter the Dragon, in the 70s, and the next thing I was like, I want to be just like that.
I want to be that guy. Well, when did you become an instructor?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I've done martial arts since the 70s. Probably in the 80s is when I started doing instructing, even though I was still just a young person. But I just had an innate knack for seeing human body movement, both from a kicking, punching, grappling. I was exposed to wrestling very young, and of course, weapons. Yeah.
Nice. What martial arts do you teach currently, or which have you taught in the past?
Yeah. I've taught Kung Fu, Taekwondo, Karate, Jiu-Jitsu, and of course my specialty in weapons. I tend to now in this part of my career spend more time on teaching weapons, whether traditional weapons we would call it, or modern weapons for tactical, like stick fighting, knife fighting, and of course firearms.
I know here at the facility we teach a lot of like a Krav Maga.
Yep.
Is that something you teach as well?
Absolutely. I spent a lot of time with Israelis, particular training and Israeli hand-to-hand combat. I've spent a significant part of my career in executive protection. So Israelis, Krav Maga is used worldwide, especially in the bodyguard world.
With your experience in the executive protection, when did you get into the security world, and how did you, it makes sense logically, but how did you actually, pull the trigger on doing that?
Yeah, of course, I've been really just blessed to have my martial art career. So I've sort of crossed over at a high level in 3 areas: the sport itself, of course, the cinema world, and the film, and then the security world. I was actually at a nightclub called the Underground in the early 90s. And I was with my teammate Tyrone Wiggins.
Where was that?
In Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Is that where you're from?
Yeah, originally. And so the Underground would host all these major famous black hip-hop rap artists. And so I got my early start as learning from a guy named Janelle Justice in the high-end security world. Yeah.
Nice.
That went on to, obviously, diplomatic security, even all the way to the U.S. Islamic Forum.
Nice. Any interesting artists rolled through there while you were in Madison, Wisconsin?
Yeah. Some people might remember KRS-One, Rex and Effects, Salt and Pepper. So I've run in that arena more than 1,000 concerts as head of security.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And have you traveled for that at all?
Yeah, I've been personal bodyguard for Winona Judd, Vince Neil from Motley Crue, a lot of very famous artists. So the entertainment circle is kind of how I got my start, because that's where Hulk Hogan saw me before I got into film.
Wow. So did you get into film through Hulk Hogan or some way? Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So in the 90s when I started with the Underground, and I was very into the whole hip-hop culture in general, I wanted to be in film. And so in the early 90s, my buddy Casey and I, we drove from Madison, Wisconsin to Orlando, Florida. The next thing I knew, I had a job as a bouncer. And next thing I knew, that same week I was in charge. And in that facility called Baja, they required you to do this act, if you will. And some people did a lip sync. Some people did like a magic trick.
Wait, for security?
Yeah, yeah. And so this concert hall required you to do this part of your job. And the disc jockey, the entertainment coordinator said, "Hey, James, what can you do?" And I said, "I don't know. I can't sing. I can't dance." I go, "But I'm really good with weapons." He goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Let me show you." And I brought all of these weapons out. And
Get like nunchucks out.
So I had 2 nunchucks. And Hulk Hogan saw me performing 2 nunchucks. And he was with the producers from Baywatch, Michael Burke and Doug Schwartz. And the next thing you know, Hulk Hogan's like, "I want you to be in my next movie, brother." Brother. And next thing I know is on a movie with Hulk Hogan.
No way. What was that movie?
I did 3 pictures with them: Thunder in Paradise, Deadly Lessons, the major and the minor, and I can't remember the third one.
Gotcha. So after that, awesome film exposure, what are some other films that you've been in since then?
Yeah, I've done a lot of action films, some war movies.
Sure.
Yeah, right, you can imagine. But people probably from that era probably remember me most from Lethal Weapon 4 or the movie Blade, which is sort of Marvel #1, if you will. I fought Wesley Snipes in Blade. If you fast forward all the way to more current, is the Lionsgate action thriller Plane, where I play the sniper with Gerard Butler.
That's nice, man. Yeah, James has really experienced this world, man. Yeah, you got decades on it. I love it. When you're on film sets and you have your security background, even all this martial arts background, how has that been an asset while being on the film sets?
Yeah, I think martial arts, part of it brings that discipline, right? Because you need to be disciplined. And I think secondly is because of all that experience and teaching martial arts, it's a natural segue to instruction on set. And especially when you talk about firearms on set, there's a lot of safety that's required. I mean, a lot of people have heard about the situation that happened on Rust with Alec Baldwin. Helena Hutchins should have never gotten shot because there's all this protocol on set with safety on firearms. And so those are natural segues for me to teach on set, of course, and be an advisor. Yeah.
Ever Google yourself and surprised at what you find? I have. I did not like what I saw. All my information is out there. I regularly receive spam calls, weird text messages, even experience card fraud. We need better protection. How did I even get our info? Well, thanks to today's sponsor, Aura, I now know. Aura shows me which and how many data brokers are selling my information. These data brokers make a fortune selling my and your information. They also make it hard to get your information removed from these sites, but Aura solves that by automatically submitting opt-out requests on my behalf. This helps reduce the amount of spam I receive, and I feel much more secure knowing my personal information isn't as exposed. I promise you, you have information exposed right now. Just Google yourself and find out. Best case scenario, more spam. Worst case scenario, hackers and scammers are getting into your financial accounts. Do we want that? I don't think so. I value my privacy and I value yours. Go to aura.com/decisiontactical to start your 2-week free trial. The link is in the description. Go check it out.
I know you also work in the fight choreography.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. What do you have going on with that?
Well, martial arts, I started obviously with Bruce Lee. I'm from Hong Kong. My family's from Hong Kong, China. So you naturally have all that action and fight choreography cinema. And so part of my main area is fight choreography, teaching it on set, designing it on set, keeping people safe, but also making sure that the fight scenes that I create align with the storyline. So part of my main role on set is the fight choreographer.
I know you also have your company, Canon Entertainment Group.
Yes,
Does that have to do with choreography? Tell us about that whole world.
Absolutely. Canon, my business and organization with Canon is designed primarily on fight choreography, firearms, and filmmaking. So we naturally, and that's why it's called a group, right? Is because we also bring in subject matter experts in those arenas, whether they are from the gaming world, that are from the fight world, or from the firearms world. We naturally work together, collaborate when we're doing a live event or making something in a film.
Nice. Yeah, we need you out there.
Absolutely.
I've seen enough movies to know that we need people like you on set. I had the pleasure of going to the Terracotta Challenge.
Yeah.
Where I represent Decision Tactical there, thanks to you. Tell us about that. What is that, and how did it start? Give us a little bit of background on that.
Yeah, Terracotta Challenge is a really cool martial art tournament. My parents, Alex and Helen Lee, God rest my father's soul.
I've met your mother.
Yeah, you met my mom. She's a wonderful lady. A funny thing real quick about my mom, I posted something yesterday, a picture, because my mom always have these villain pics. And my mom's always like, can't you play a good guy? And so anyway, just a shout out to my mom out there. But back to China and my parents, my mom and dad invited my wife, Jenny, and I to China to see the terracotta warriors.
Okay.
So, you got these major cities, Beijing, Hong Kong, Shanghai. Well, in the real center of China is something called Xi'an. That's the home of the terracotta warriors. So back in around 1976, a farmer was doing farming. He's digging up stuff, finds this clay pottery, and sure enough, it's super old. All these experts come. Well, in the 70s now, this dates back all the way to 246 BC China, where they found the terracotta warriors. So they found 10,000 life-size terracotta warriors. Well, so I see this Smithsonian statue. Oh, yeah, exactly. So I see these statues, and I get this crazy idea with my dad to bring them to the United States to be the iconic figures for a karate tournament. And then we gave trophy ones for kids.
I was there. It was like I was in the Karate Kid. I couldn't contain myself. I'd like sweep the leg.
Sweep the leg, Vinny.
But obviously, yeah, it was so well done. These kids were so impressive, and it was the age. What was the age groups there?
Anything from about 5 years old till like 35 years old.
Yeah, it was impressive across the board. Yeah, thank you for having us.
Oh yeah, fun times.
So after doing some research on you, which I felt like I know a lot about you, but obviously there's a lot more James that I know already. You're also classically trained in music.
Yeah.
So, piano and violin.
I think if
let's hear
the movies and the security world wouldn't have happened, I probably would be playing the piano or the violin.
You would be.
Well, I think what happened though is I love martial arts, and I really attribute my fight choreography understanding to music, because a lot of people think it's just the fighters, but the reality of it is good fight choreography is based on pace, tempo, and things like that. So having a music background really helped my fight background.
Like, you 8 notes and 16 notes. I got
that's really good.
Yeah, that's about it. That's my max.
When you're Chinese, you're kind of expected to play the piano and the violin,
great.
So that's kind of what I'm
Are you still able to play?
Absolutely. I still play.
Perform here.
I don't know about that, but my youngest daughter, she loves music, so I think she'll carry on that in the family.
Nice.
Yeah.
So James is partnered with Decision Tactical.
Absolutely.
Not only in the dojo, which we have here, but in many other ways. Tell us a little bit, why partner with Decision Tactical?
I love this question because my friend Mike Masseri, he wanted to eat lunch with me one day, and he's like, hey, I really feel convicted to go eat some wings and go visit Decision Tactical. Now, for people watching or listening to this, Decision Tactical wasn't open then. It was a construction site. When I say construction site, there was still concrete being poured in the floor. That's how long ago this was. And so my buddy Mike says, hey, let's get some wings. Let's go to Decision Tactical. And I said to him, Mike, I don't even know what Decision Tactical is. I said, but you had me at wings. Let's go eat wings. So we go eat wings. And it was actually just down the street from Decision Tactical. And we go eat wings. And he says, hey, I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm like, I thought he meant I don't know what the results or the outcome's going to be. So we get here, we knock on the door of Decision Tactical, and who we know is Oren. Oren opens the door, and he's got, work clothes on. He's like, can I help you, gentlemen? And my buddy Mike's like, hey, nice to meet you, Oren. And Mike's a real business guy, and he's like, you got to meet James Lee. He's a world champion. He's in the movies, and Oren and I shake hands, and we hit it off, and Oren's like, hey, you got to meet Remo. And him and Remo are showing me this really cool scenario. And next thing you know, 3-4 hours later, we're still here playing with this amazing, immersive, interactive experience. I'm like, wow. And they're like, James, you got to be a part. I'm like, you guys are great guys. You got a really cool thing going on here. People got to see this.
When was that?
I'm in. So almost a year ago today. Wow. Today, yeah. Cool. May of last year.
I'm glad we're celebrating.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Me and James were fortunate to meet a few months ago now. It's been an interesting journey the past few months. But sure.
It has been fun.
What's it been like at DTAC so far, especially since it's open till today?
Absolutely. I love it that the public now is able to come in. I know law enforcement, as you know, have been training in here for months, but to have the public get a chance to experience not only, a place where they can be entertained, it's got a great restaurant, a great bar, but to increase their skills from their own safety and personal protection, because they got elite people here that can train them, that have skills to do that, experience to do that. And of course, all this technology that's not only this video game, like I think people think, but it's interactive, fully immersive. If you want to learn something, you come here.
Yeah, you could see behind us, we have the gun range right here, right now. You could sit at the bar, have a drink, and then go shoot at the range.
Well, it's funny you say this, as we're so close to the gun range. Sometimes people, when they see an electronic gun range, they're like, well, why don't I just go to the real gun range? But this is so amazing because you can do things here you can't do at other ranges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very resourceful. Do you have a favorite weapon and why?
You mean outside of nunchucks and the Barrett 50 caliber and plane? You mean outside of those two?
I guess so. I guess that's your answer. There we go.
well, I'll add to it then. Okay. So I love the nunchucks old school, and I love new school in terms of the Barrett 50 cal. But I really like, if I wanted to think it from a film standpoint, the classic H&K Heckler & Koch MP5.
Cool.
From a practical standpoint, a Sig Sauer 365, and then super practical knives.
There we go. Just knives, blanket, knives. So, total 180 on what I'm about to ask.
Okay.
How does family and faith play a part in everything that you do?
Man, my family is awesome. I'm married.
They are.
I'm married to my superwoman, Jenny. I got 3 amazing kids. They're all little ninjas, Vinny, as you know. Don't mess with the 3 of them. They can all kick and punch. And then, of course, faith is huge to me. I love God. I'm thankful for what Christ did for my life. I feel a part of it even as responsibility, even to share what God has given me to help the public.
Nice. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that with us. Gonna close out here. I'm gonna ask some quicker questions. I like to do a little rapid fire.
All right.
Where, if I was going to Madison, Wisconsin, where would you recommend that I go hang out?
Bascom Hill, eat the ice cream.
Nice. That was great. Any flavor that you remember specifically?
Mint chocolate chip.
Perfect. You say you worked at all the hip hop places. Do you have a favorite artist?
Ooh.
From that era?
I'm going to say KRS-One.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a classic. Plus, they were in Blade.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, bring it all together. So, you were speaking about wings earlier. What's your favorite type of wing?
Ooh, honey barbecue, hands down. And let me tell you, if you have not eaten wings here at Decision Tactical, do it.
Yeah,
great.
do it. Yeah, garlic palm.
Oh,
yeah, they're all good here. Yeah, they're all good. Do you have a favorite type of pizza?
Pizza. Any kind of pizza.
Cool. Great answer. I respect that. No pineapple for me.
No, I love pineapple.
That sounds good. We'll debate later. Do you all these movies? Do you have a favorite film?
Yeah, I do. I mean, of course, a shout out to Plane. That was a lot of fun working with Gerard. Lethal Weapon, being with Mel Gibson, man, that's a classic. And then I loved working with Jet Li. I think though my favorite of all time though is Blade.
Wow.
Yeah, working with Wesley, New Line Cinema, Marvel. There was something really special on working on Blade.
Yeah, a lot of people say that's their favorite movie as well.
Yeah.
They weren't even in it.
Yeah, I was honored to be part of Blade.
Yeah. Nice. So I will finish off here. Where can the people find you, and what do you have coming up next?
Yeah, absolutely. You can reach me at www.jamessangley.com or, of course, www.canonentertainmentgroup.com. And, of course, I'm on Instagram at James Sangley.
Nice. Yeah, you got anything to promote about yourself? Let's
absolutely
a little bit.
No, I appreciate that. We got the amazing fight choreography seminars coming up at the ISK World Championship at Disney this year, July 4th weekend. We're really excited about ISK World Championship. And then, of course, with Myacon, Century Martial Arts, really excited to do stuff with Ryan Watson from Wonder Woman and Mandalorian.
Really?
So check out my Canon fight choreography seminars coming up.
Nice. Yeah. Appreciate everything.
Thanks for having me.
Fun. It was a blast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.